Oh, what is up? 4th of July. Let's do some sharpening. It's more fun to sharpen with an audience. So it's going to sharpen anyway. So I figured I'd just turn the camera on. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Well, who do we have joining us this fine evening? Oh, what is up, Mr. Eric Mason? How's it going? Hello there, Carl. I hope you're doing well. Love you, sir. So we're going to sharpen. I got a box today or yesterday. This thing was completely full of Spydercos. We got 3 left to sharpen, but it was 5 Tonto PM2s and a smock. So here's one of the Tonto PM2s I finished earlier. Oops. Turned out pretty nice. So we got a few more to do. Hey, Chris. Oh, and we know we got Brian Roden here. Oh, what's up? So we're going to sharpen this. We got a Tonto PM2. This is an M4 Blade HQ exclusive. The first thing we are going to do on this PM2, which isn't a huge deal, but it's the most stressful part about sharpening for me, is I've sharpened some really expensive knives. Some are really simple. Some are really, really easy. Like, it's not even a big deal. I've sharpened lots of Spydercos, but the most stressful thing for me to sharpen is a DLC Spyderco, because if to get the heel all the way to the end, you got to push your stone really close to DLC. So what I'd use is a piece of electrical tape, and we're going to tape off the ricasso on the vertical face. So take my fingernail, and I'm like squishing the tape into the vertical groove next to the flat grind line and pushing it flat, so it creates a little bumper. So when I sharpen, I can just sharpen like normal and push the knife up against it. Push the knife tight against the tape, because then it'll leave the nicest looking heel. So my DLC heels are not as nice as my satin heels. They're very nice, but it's impossible to get them quite as tight without screwing up the adjacent coating. So we just compromise. So protecting this, it's when you're sharpening, especially for other people, setup is key. You don't want to make a mistake and realize it after you've already started. So I always try to make sure before I start a DLC knife, I get it well protected and it's stuck and it's not moving around and all the right parts of the edge are exposed. So there, we got taped up, tied around the ricasso. And since this is a Spyderco, we're going to take this, and it should be pretty close already. It's a little bit higher because I did a Tonto last. And we're going to set this angle to 17 degrees. Just right about there. We're going to take a marker, draw on the edge. And so when you do a Tonto, I've been taught that you can do it either way. But the way I prefer to do it is I do one edge at a time. So right now we're just doing a straight edge. And doing a Tonto is actually super easy. It just takes more time because you have to do 2 edges if you do it the way I do it. And you'll see why we do 2 edges when I get to the tip part, because the tips on Tonto PM2s usually need significant amounts of reprofiling. So it's important that when you do the tip on a Tonto PM2, you set it up by itself. And so So, because there's a lot of grinding involved, sometimes, not always, but sometimes there's a ton of reprofiling involved on Tonto. So, take our stone. We're going to put a 150 grit in. Halfstone premium CVN, metallic bonded stone. So, this is like a piece of aluminum, I think, melted down with pieces of stuff in it. It doesn't get worn out really, which is nice. So we're going to check our angle. If this is true, like it should be about 17 degrees. And so we're hitting the front edge of the bevel, which means we are a little bit too high of a degree. But before we change anything, we flip the sides. And we see where this one's landing. And this one is right about on. Like it could be a little bit lower, which would help the other side too. But like I'm talking a tiny bit. A little tiny bit more. So we're like remark it. There we go. Beautiful. Takes it right off. So, let's get this microphone over. We're going to do a heel. First, we just kind of go through the edge. See where there's any low spots. See where anything's not getting hit. Start kind of just working down. And then now we're going to attack the heel. So, when you do a heel, you kind of need to just, there'll be a little bump there. You just got to hop up on the bump. So you can see my stone kind of hop because it's all the way pressed up against the flat grind line. What up? I like this YouTube action. This is fun. The Tonto TM2s, they turn out really cool looking. I don't own one. But they turn out very nice and with an edge that makes them look really cool. What's up, my dude? So we're doing a heel, push up against tight against Ricasso, lightly kind of start to grind on it and do some tapering out strokes at the same time. Trying to push up against the tape, but not to disturb it, so it still stays on the DLC. And we're done. That's it. That heel's done. Yep, that's it. It's done. One pass. That was that easy. I'll do another pass on here, but that heel is beautiful. And it's done. One pass. Real easy. That's why if you have good stones, this is really easy to do. Same principle though, but you'd be surprised how little grinding is needed to get rid of a heel compared to the rest of the edge. I don't know if it's softer steel or it's just the angle or the way I'm applying pressure, but they come off really easy. Now we're just making sure we get a burr on the edge. Flip it. Now I'm going to feel the edge with my fingernail. We got a burr all the way down from tip to heel. It is funny. It's funny for me when I see knives that I sharpened in the group. It's very satisfying. So, yes, I did just have, I'm guessing, this one. I sharpened this earlier today. I sharpen with a TS Prof Cadet Nero. So the Cadet is the middle-sized TS Prof, and it doesn't have this clamp typically. This is the clamp from the KO3, the bigger one. but it's kind of necessary. But TS Prof Cadet, KO3 center clamp, Hap stone, CBN stones. Okay, this edge, we're going to remarker it. Let's see how this lines up. Beautifully. We're hitting the apex already. Now we're just trying to even out the top of the bevel. Okay, now do the heel. And our heel is basically done. So Tonto heels, I don't know. That was pretty easy. This is M4 too. Usually I do a heel. It takes me 2 or 3 passes. So this one we're doing 2 passes. Checking the side for a burr, which we have all the way across from sharpening the other side. So now I do one more pass, reduce the burr size, and make sure I hit everything. There's no hidden divots or scratches I missed. This is kind of like, I bet I could move on after this, but I don't. I usually do 2 passes at 150 or 3 passes at 150 at least. And then I do less the higher stone I get. So relaxing to do this. I mean, I get to spend the 4th of July working. And by working, I get to be on the internet live sharpening someone's awesome knife and really enjoy myself, to be honest. It's a beautiful 93-degree day outside in Portland, Oregon, and I'm just happy to be sharpening. Okay, we're all burred up. Edge is all even. Heel looks good. Okay, now we'll do last pass at 150 on this side. So I'm doing forward strokes and reverse strokes, just, I don't know, in my mind it makes sense that it exposes and shows anything that's hiding. Wow, this is looking really good. Okay, we're done with the 150 grit stone. $400 grit. I think I saw the Hapstone makes a 240 as well, but honestly, I can go from 150 to 400 and be done with the sharp knife. So sometimes I do that, but I don't feel like I need an intermediate step because my mirrors look beautiful with just doing that. I won't use the Wicked Edge because the idea of sharpening with 2 hands seems inconsistent to me because the pressure and just my coordination with my left hand. But my main complaint whenever anyone asks about the system is I just warn them about the heels. And since it's like the most important thing to me when I sharpen, I've stayed away from that. Dude, I always have a beard. I don't shave. See, there's some fuzz. That's all I can grow, though. It's just not very thick. Okay, 400. So now all we're doing is reducing the size of the burr and polishing the bevel. And we're going to try to see how quickly we can do this. And by quickly, I mean the fewest number of passes. Because usually I kind of overdo it just by habit of being used to taking longer with lesser quality equipment. So we're just going to do a few passes on this bad guy. Make sure you hit the heel, get any deep scratches out of the heel. Okay, we're going to say that's good enough. We're looking at the edge, and it looks really good. So when you do the point on a Tonto, the goal is to not do that. You don't want to roll, especially on your lower stone. Mainly on your lower stone. When you get the higher stones, I actually do kind of roll it just a little bit to shine up the curve. But you want that to be a sharp point, and you don't want to round it out. So you just kind of go halfway over it, just like you're doing a tip. This, I think a Tonto PM2 is now officially the knife I've sharpened the most of since I began my business 6 months ago. More sharp. I have sharpened a lot of Tontos, and they make sense because they turn out really cool looking. Okay, on 400, I usually do 2 passes. I don't know why, but I usually do 2 passes on 400. Just one real one and then one kind of brief one. Just catch anything else. Make sure it's knocking the burr off and down from the other side before we flipped it. Man, everyone is on YouTube today. That's the hot spot to be, I guess. What up, Seth? Getting a little squeaky. Put a little oil on it. Okay, we're done 400. Now we're jumping to 800. And once I get to 800, I usually just do 1 pass per side. These high stones really do polish very quickly. And since we're not trying to do much with the burr besides reduce it, I just do 1 pass aside and really polish it when I do that 1 pass. Now we're going to check our edge out. Let's play with the microscope and see what the microscope looks like, because Jason bought it for me, and that's fun. I don't know what I'm looking for, but it's a cool edge. It's got some scratches you can see on it with the microscope, but they're all uniform. And there's one right there that's not good enough. I don't usually use the microscope, but that's kind of fun. I used to sharpen with oil, honing oil on my KME stones, and that if you need to get dirty stones clean, oil is the best bet. Oil and a magic eraser, just like that will clean your stones real quick. These don't get dirty. I mean, they do, but like they don't build up with gunk, and I do these dry. So, I mean, I actually don't clean them at all. Once I figured out I didn't have to use water on these, I was using water for quite a while, but then I just kind of stopped and realized it was working better. So, ooh, I love it. I love it. But yeah, I don't clean these stones, but to clean like typical diamond plates, use oil and a magic eraser. Basically this side. And so right now I'm seeing little dusty crumbles, like just little pieces of fine powder falling off the apex because we flipped it over and we're reducing the burr right now. I'm polishing everything up. Okay. Take a look at her edge. Looks pretty well, except for right there. And one dull spot right in the middle. I think that looks good. Okay, jumping to so I might regret this, but I think that spot on their side's gone. I think it will strop out and look fine. But if not, we'll find out after we get a little more shine on it. Which is okay. I don't feel like going back and redoing it with lower grit, and I think it looks good. So hopefully it polishes up nice. And once you get to 2000, it's a mirror. And like, once you get to this level, you can see it on camera. It's already a mirror, and we haven't even stropped it yet. So it gets shiny quick. Once you go from 800 to 2000, it turns to a mirror immediately. And then it gets just brighter and brighter from here. So this is a 2000 stone. We're going to do one more. We're going to use a 5000 stone. Honestly, for a long time, this is where I stopped because I didn't even have the 5000 stone until recently. So my mirrors are extra crispy right now. But even if it stopped at 2000, they look really, really, really good. And I'm not a good person to emulate their lighting for their sharpening setup. I like to sharpen. I have a ring light and my window's open and the light's off. So I don't sharpen in bright light, which might be a dumb thing, but it works for me. I just like being in dimmer lighting. I don't have a problem seeing the edge really. So we are going to our last stone. So this stone, I don't even know if you can tell, honestly, or if it's just placebo effect. It's already pretty mirrored at 2,000. So we're just doing some passes at 5,000 for shits and giggles, because why not? I have it. Okay. And we're looking good. So edge 1 is done. So now we're rotating to the tip portion parallel to the clamp. And we have to readjust our angle. It should still be close to 17, but since our knife is now further away from, our edge is further away from here, so we have to change the angle a little bit no matter what. So this is the toughest part of Tontos is PM2 tips. They're really all over the place looking from the factory. And to fix them, I have to get them all clean and even so I can mirror the whole bevel. So it's a lot of reprofiling sometimes. So finding not only a close enough angle, but the perfect angle to average out all the imperfections is pretty important. It's worth taking your time to do on this step. So we're just going to start where it's set right now and see. We're a little bit too low of an angle. So we're going to raise the angle a little bit more. It's not going to be a bunch of change though, because it should be right around here. Let's see. It looks like we're not quite getting the very leading edge, and that is tough sometimes. So we're going to drop it down just a little bit more. Okay. So take marker again. Let's see what it looks like. Beautiful. Oh, no reprofile on the side. So hopefully this is the same angle. It's pretty close, and except for we're a little bit too low of an angle at the tip. The other side was perfect. This side's a little low at the tip. We're going to drop it just a tiny bit more. Try to average out the imperfection. Because this is where I spend a lot of time on Tontos, is this step right here. On this part of the tip, they are not flat. The tips can be all over the place. So I spend a lot of time cleaning up PM2 Tonto tips. I spend as much time sometimes on this little section of blade as I do on the whole rest of the blade. So this isn't too bad. Let's see if we got a burr. Not quite there, but we're going to flip, do this side. Even out any imperfections in the top of the bevel that we can. These things are difficult to manufacture blades, and so they're spider toes. They're not perfect. I've seen some really bad ones, some really good ones. This one's pretty good. This was actually really good compared to some I've seen. Okay. We got a burr at the bottom of the bevel. Not quite tell at the tip. So we're going to work the tip a little bit more. Feeling the burr. It's there. Okay, we got the burr all the way to the tip. Last pass on this side. Clean it up. Okay, I'm done profiling it. Switch to the 400 stone. So now we're just trying to polish up the bevel, get these scratches out, and reduce the burr. And we're only doing a small spot, so it's not a super long process. We're just polishing the bevel with 800 grit. We'll do one pass per side. It shines up really quick. I don't even need to go as long as I do. $2,000 grit. Check it out. Looking pretty shiny. Looking pretty good. Now we're just gonna hit our last stone. And we'll be done. What are you guys up to tonight? Fireworks? Going places? You shoot them off in your neighborhood? What's going on? Okay. Mirrored this blade. Take off the tape. Come on, there it goes. Dropping away and gunny juice. So once we do 3 micron stropping, our edge looks like that. Not too shabby. The tips. Now we're changing strops to 0.5 micron. I really go for it on my mirrors for my customers. See my shiniest edge, that's what they get. Now take magic eraser and we're going to take some gunny glue. This is DLC, and we're just going to clean any marker marks off. Okay, clean that. Now we're going to wipe it off with a chamois cloth. Final product. That's how you mirror an edge on a Tonto PM2. Wow, that's beautiful. that's a damn nice edge. Sweet. So now, next step is clean these knives up and bust out the next one. But I think we're just going to do one tonight. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It's really fun. I really enjoy doing what I do. And I get to make people's knives that much better. It's very satisfying. So if you would like to have your knife sharpened, even on camera, send it to me, and I'll sharpen it. And I'll make it cool like that. Or I'll just make it sharp. I don't have to polish it necessarily. But anyway, hit me up. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good 4th of July. And see you next time.